Hi, Sudha.
Hey, morning, Shri. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. Morning, always with that bright smile.
Yes.
How was your weekend, Sudha?
Good. Very good.
Very
Very
nice.
relaxing. Yes. Very good.
All right. So, what are you doing for the ICF week?
The ICF Hyderabad chapter and IAF Hyderabad Hub, International Association of Facilitators. Together, we are doing the joint event.
So that's the link that you sent to me.
Yes. Yes.
Cool. So, Sudha, as we agreed for today, we have 30 minutes between us. The session is being recorded with your prior permission. I may take this to my mentor for feedback.
Sure.
But end of this session, if you feel that you don't want it to be shared, I will delete it. Yeah.
Sure.
In the time we are together, what will give you a feeling that you are safe to share whatever that you feel like sharing and make yourself vulnerable?
No, I think I feel quite safe and comfortable having this conversation with you, Shri.
Sure. Okay, good to know. How would you like to make use of this time?
Yeah. Um, this is a question which I keep kind of revisiting now and then. When I say now and then, maybe periodically. Um, and again, I'm back with this question, which is like, what will now balance look like for me? Um, because I've come to realize, Shri, this is something that, it keep changes every now and then. When I say that, every 1, 2 years, it looks different for me. It is never the same. And I feel um, I need to keep asking this so that I kind of realign my um waking time, especially aligning to this balance, which will make me feel, yes, that this is what balance is for me and that is what I'm doing. So currently it is little vague for me at this moment as I'm talking to you. So I want to explore this question. Uh, what will balance at this moment, like say for the next 6 months, what would that be for me?
What will balance look like for me is the question that you're asking.
Yeah.
If you take a step back and look at this word balance holistically in your overall life, what does that mean to you?
I think the first thing that comes to my mind when you ask this question is one, there are many roles I'm playing, right? Uh, I want to be able to do that in a way that I feel I'm doing justice to that role. In my own eyes, I feel, yeah, I committed to something and, I showed up the way it would make me feel, if I may say, pleased, happy about it. Uh, it would also mean when I say there's different roles, it's also including the role of, if I need to consider myself, okay, I'm now a learner. I need to be able to accomplish. It's not just sometimes it's like I just want to be. So there are different facets I'm talking about, and I want to be able to plan it in such a way that I don't keep tilting the balance, if I may say so, right? And I keep finding myself doing it. I know that sometimes in my enthusiasm or in my um, interest for a particular thing, I might go end up committing, and then I sometimes find it kind of tilts with the balanced feeling that I want to have. So I think coming back to your question, what does it mean for me? I think if I need to feel I'm showing up in all the roles in the way I like it to be, especially when I commit. I don't want to be like I'm overindulging in some and then missing some, something like that.
I want to do justice to the roles I play and show up the way that I committed to be. And there was a mention about tilt in the balance. When that happens, what emotions do you experience?
I go through anxiety. Um, I go through guilt. I go through stress. Yeah, these are the top three that comes to me when I tilt it. This is what I experience.
Anxiety, guilt, and stress. What do you feel is lying behind these emotions?
Is this need for me to show up in all these roles? Um, the word that comes to me perfectly. I need to show up in all these roles I commit perfectly. I think that's what comes.
I need to show up perfectly in these roles.
Yeah.
When you are able to show up the way that you want to, what will that bring for you?
Obviously, the sense of balance that I'm looking for. And also, along with it, I think a sense of achievement that I'm able to manage all this well. Um, sense of joy, meaning. Yeah.
Sense of balance, achievement, joy, and meaning. When there's a tilt in balance, what core values of yours get challenged?
Commitment, credibility. Yeah. I think these are the two I can think of: commitment, credibility, and freedom as well.
commitment, credibility. I heard you say these are the two, and then you took a little bit time and said freedom as well, with a different expression on your face.
Yeah.
What happened there?
I suddenly realized whenever I tilt the balance, this is the most that gets challenged. Because the person who I am, somehow I will beat the commitment and the credibility because that's so important to me. So what I don't meet is my freedom. I think if at all something is taking a back seat or it's getting compromised, it's this freedom.
So what I'm sensing is the moment you commit to do something in a role that you want to play, you show up, even if you have to tilt the balance, because the commitment is a value for you and credibility is at stake. But freedom gets a hit.
Right.
So we've been talking for a while, Sudha. What are you learning?
This freedom bit. Um, it's almost like while freedom is so important, the question that's coming up as I'm thinking about it is, how am I actually using my freedom? I also use my freedom to not choose freedom for me, and I will choose commitment, this credibility, showing up, mm, the doing, right? And I think the parallel question when I was just thinking is, why do I end up doing it for? Because I know that at one level, freedom is such an important value for me. So it's like, why do I choose one over the other? Or it's like, what will help me to actually keep the balance, right? Because I know it's she. That's why I said, I keep tilting the balance on my own. It's not like it's external. I keep tilting it. I think the question that's coming to my mind is, what can I do to keep the balance? Like, value the freedom also equally. I think that's the question that's on top of my mind.
We started the question, started the conversation with the question, what does balance look like for me? Right now, what is that I need to do to keep the balance?
Yeah.
What changed in between for you?
I think just recognizing that I'm not uh, choosing freedom for myself and I'm choosing more commitment and credibility. And in the process, I think that's how I tilt the balance. And then when there is no freedom, that's when I actually start feeling this stress. And I'm also recognizing as I'm saying, because I remember I also told you, I feel anxious, I feel guilty. Those all come from this place of, oh my God, I cannot not show up to what I committed. That will make me feel guilty, or I cannot like enjoy the freedom or to, do whatever other things that will make me feel more balanced because I will feel anxious. I can't enjoy this. So I feel like I have to complete all this. I have to be free. to enjoy the freedom. I think that's what it is. I have to feel free to enjoy that freedom that I give myself, while that is so important.
I need to feel free to enjoy the freedom. So the remaining time that we have, what is that you would specifically want to focus and take away from this session?
I'm already taken a lot, I think, as to, what does this balance look like for me? I think the balance looks like only when I'm also equally valuing my freedom. That's when I will feel balanced. And I'm currently tilting it because I think I have to be free to enjoy this freedom. But I think I'm just wanting to find, is there any other way I can, currently this is what I'm thinking. Maybe I should think about it differently. I don't know what it is. But the strong sense, Shri, that if I just look at only credibility and commitment and, showing up, I don't think this balance will be restored. Time and again, it will be tilted. And if I need to find ways to enjoy this balance, I also need to figure out, how do I actually, it feels funny when I say this, how do I actually give myself the permission to enjoy the freedom? I think that's the question. Maybe I just want to explore a little bit.
How do I give the permission
To enjoy
to
this
enjoy
freedom.
the freedom?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Yeah.
And when you have the answer for this, what will change for you?
I think I will enjoy it more for sure because I know I need it. Yeah.
So when we continue to have this conversation for the next 10 or 12 minutes that we have, what will give you the sense that you are moving towards finding that answer?
Yeah, it's kind of, if I understand what's making it difficult for me to give this permission, or
What is making?
it's like what will help me to be aware of this, and what will help me to give that permission in those moments.
What will help me to give the permission? What is making it difficult? So from a place of this anxiety, guilt, and stress that you go through when the balance is off tilt, to get to the place of balance, the way that you described, and feel the freedom, what within you do you feel that we need to explore?
I think if I can be mindful of my, for a lack of better word, I'm using this, my temptations to commit or to engage. Um, if I can be more mindful of that, yeah, I think that that will make a difference is what I'm thinking, Shri. It's almost like when something comes up, right? It's not that I go behind things. When something comes up, when I know truly I can make a difference there, or, you know, this is of a subject of interest to me, or this is something I don't want to let go. It's a great opportunity. I think those are the moments I feel it's like a temptation to let go in that moment. I think I want to be able to be more awareful of my temptations in those moments. Um, it's almost like in that moment, I will tell you have done it, you will do it. It's okay, don't let go, just do it. You can always, I think the very frequent things I will tell you can always rest after that. You can always take a break after that. Um, but I don't keep doing it. Yeah.
When you're being mindful, what do you experience?
Better choices, and definitely I feel more in control and balance.
Better choices and I mean more control and balance. What is becoming clearer for you so far in this session?
I think the point of intervention for me is to be mindful of my temptations. I think that's the point of intervention, which actually causes me to commit. And then when I commit, I kind of push myself to show up. And then that comes in the way of my freedom. And then I either go through stress or I go through anxiety and stress to, somehow show up to my commitment and live up to my commitment. And then I feel this balance is stripped. And then I come back to this thing of, I don't like this like this. I don't want a life like this for long. And then I'll keep trying to figure out what's happening.
This temptation that you mentioned about, how is it impacting all the roles that you're playing in your life today?
I think big time. I'm able to see that that's what causes in all the rooms. As I'm saying this, Shri, I'm also realizing it's like if I cannot be all that I can be in that moment, there is I wouldn't say huge guilt. This temptation is also coming from the space of guilt. Hey, you can make a difference. You can do something here. And if, I don't, I think the guilt is what actually shows up as temptation. I think I'm suddenly realizing that it's this guilt which makes me feel tempted to engage or commit.
Sensing guilt and temptation are feeding each other.
Yeah.
So, with this realization that you mentioned, how are things going to change for you as you live this conversation? So,
I think I don't know what is this guilt I'm talking about. Maybe I feel we should take up for another conversation for a deeper exploration. Because I seem to be realizing that's what is tempting me. This whole idea of, oh, you should show up here or you should commit here. I don't know where is that coming from. Yeah. But I think this whole recognition of that I need to be mindful of my temptations, I think that's the biggest takeaway from me.
I need to be mindful of my temptations. You also mentioned that we'll take the guilt and explore it in another conversation, which we'll definitely do. We'll set up some time and do that. Due to lack of time, we may be left with some 3 or 3.5 minutes. How would you like to summarize this entire conversation for yourself, Sudha?
I think this recognition, where is this all stemming from? Um, I think just knowing it makes me feel like, you know, yeah, this is something I need to be mindful of. Um, in a way, as I'm saying it, it's not that probably I didn't know it, but it's like I'm not paying attention to it. That's how it feels like. Like I didn't know it like so clearly. It's like always there behind, even when I'm committing, like, don't. There is one level of awareness, don't, but then I will push it through, saying that no, 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 you have to. So I think I want to be more mindful. I think I feel more resolute about it now that I want to be more mindful about these temptations and probably commit to myself that I should take more time to think about it mm, before saying an yes or before an agreeing to do something like that. Yeah,
Commit to myself before saying a yes or agree.
yeah.
And when that happens, what will happen to your freedom?
I feel I'm honoring it more by just telling myself it's like it feels like I'm exercising choice here. More than earlier, it felt like it was more compulsive. Now it feels like more choiceful. Yeah, I think that is a huge shift for me. I think, Sue.
I noticed the way that you expressed there's a bright smile.
Yes,
All through, there was a little bit of a not so good kind of an expression, and suddenly the expression changed.
yes.
I really want to acknowledge, Sudha, that you brought yourself here, made yourself vulnerable, and went to places I think you wouldn't have thought you're going,
Absolutely. Yes.
and trusting me and having this conversation. How would you like to bring this session to a closure?
I think first, thank you so much for giving me the space, uh, for reflecting what seemed like very vague when I started. It wasn't very clear. Um, I didn't even know. It was like at one level, I felt, hey, this is something that you've explored in the past. What new things will you get now? But I think uh, it helped me to really recognize uh, the guilt part, which is causing this temptation. It was a big surprise for me. So thank you so much for the space, and I would definitely want to explore that maybe a little later. But for now, I'm walking back feeling that, you know, I commit to myself first, which feels like, every time I'm going to give myself the time to choose rather than feeling compulsive. Yeah. Thank you for that.
You're welcome, Sudha. We'll meet again.
Yes.